Greetings to all. I myself Puni from Biotechnology Department, working as an assistant professor. I am handling the subject called Bioprocess Engineering for third year students. I am going to give a lecture on a topic mass transfer coefficient from the first unit. So what do you mean by the mass transfer? For any transfer of your molecules, if it is being carried out in any solutes, those solute that has to be carried, if the solution carries a n number of a solute, the diffusion of a molecules has been occurred. That's why we have a term called a molecular diffusion. So before getting into a topic of your mass transfer, we are going to see the basic principle behind your mass transfer, that is said to be your molecular diffusion. So the molecular diffusion is nothing but the component which is in a mixture that is moving under the influence of your concentration gradient, or it can be called as a concentration differences. So whenever the molecular diffusion is occurred, that occurs in a directions in order with respect to your concentration gradient. So this concentration gradient has been occurred in the case of your molecules that has been moved in a solute or in a mixture from the region of a lower concentration to your higher concentration. So here in this case, the diffusion is always said to be a continuous processes. So the molecular diffusion is said to be the movement of a component molecules in a mixture under the influence of the concentration gradient in a particular system. This is the basic definition for your molecular diffusion. So here the diffusion of a molecule has been predicted by the person called Fick. So we call that law as your Fick's law of diffusion. So what is a Fick's law of a diffusion? Here in this case, whatever the molecules which has in a mixture, that flux, or we can have a molar flux, is directly proportional to the concentration gradient. That is why it is given as the first point. The Fick's law of diffusion states that the molar flux or a flux is directly proportional to the concentration gradient. So that can be represented in an equation form as JA, that is said to be the flux, or NA, that is said to be the molar flux. So any of your flux can be denoted, which is directly proportional to the concentration gradient, which is represented here as a dCA by dZ of a particular direction. So here, in order to remove the constant term, we are introducing a proportionality constant, that is said to be your DAB. The DAB is said to be your diffusion constant, or we can call it as a diffusivity. So JA is directly proportional to your concentration gradient. This can be written in an equation form of JA is equal to NA is equal to minus of DAB into concentration gradient of dCA by dZ. And this why we are having the minus term here in before of your constant term, that is a diffusivity. Here the minus, which represents the molecules in your component of a mixture, is moving from a lower concentration to the higher concentration. So here let us see here in the case of your how the oxygen is being transferred from the gas phase to the cell through the liquid phase. So here in this diagram we can see here from your gas phase how much amount of your gas is being transferred from the gas phase to the cell phase through the liquid phase. So here when we talk about in the case of your fermenter, so here this diffusion process is mainly important in the case of all your bioprocessing and also your mass transfer processing operations systems. So here in this case we are going to see how the oxygen is being transferred in the form of your gas bubble. That is why we have a air oxygen, that is in the fermenter we are carrying out most of the bioprocess system which will be carrying out the process in the case of an aerobic system. So the oxygen plays one of the major important role in a bioprocessing system. So we are going to see how this oxygen is being transferred from your gas phase through the liquid phase and how much amount of the oxygen is being utilized in the case of your cell phase. That's why we have a term called a OTR and OUR. So the OTR is said to be the oxygen transfer rate and OUR is said to be the oxygen utilization rate. So here whenever we are seeing the gas is being transferred to your liquid phase from the gas phase. In between this, it has been passed through the region, we call that region as a gas liquid interface, or we can call it as a stagnant region. And from there it is being passed to the liquid phase. So here the liquid phase is nothing but you're inside the reactor, how it is being, where the mixture is being taken place or process is being taken place. And from the liquid phase it is getting transferred to the cellular phase. So between this liquid phase and a cellular phase, we are having a region which are the constant, and the interface we call it as the liquid cell interface. So the oxygen is getting transferred or it is being utilized by the cell for the entire reaction is going to be carried out. So this is what we are going to see. So where the gas bubble is being transferred from the aerator or a sparger, we can tell it is being diffused from your gaseous phase to the cellular phase through the liquid phase. So this transferring of your oxygen from the gas phase to the cellular phase, which is occurring in a 9 number of your steps, from 1 up to your 3, where the reaction is being carried out. So this oxygen in the form of a bubble is being transferred from your first step. So the n number of your steps we do have. So the first step is said to be the gas from the sparger, that is being sparged in the form of an air bubble, that is getting transferred from the aerator to the region of a gas bubbles, that is the exterior region of a gas bubble. That is the first step. The second step is the transferring of this gas bubble into the interface region, that we can also call it as a stagnant region. So here the second step is said to be the diffusion of oxygen in the form of a gas bubbles from your interior part of a gas to the interface region, and from this interface it is getting transferred to the end region of your stagnant region. That is the third step. And from this third step it is getting transferred. So once it is getting transferred through the interface called a gas liquid interface, it is getting transferred to the next region, we call it as the liquid region or a liquid phase, and we call that liquid phase as a bulk liquid phase, because all the media, raw materials, whatever we are adding here, that will be present in the case of a liquid phase. And in this liquid phase, how the oxygen is getting transferred from your gas bubble to the liquid bubble, it has been explained in the first 2-3 steps. And from this end region of a stagnant region of your interface, it is getting transferred to the bulk region of a liquid phase. So that is how it is being denoted as a 4, and then it is getting transferred to the next phase, that is said to be your cellular phase. So when it is reaching the cellular phase, here we do have a cellular phase interface, that is we call it as a liquid interface cell or your stagnant region, and these two regions we call, that is the transferring of a gas bubbles in the form of an oxygen, that is said to be your one stagnant region, and the transferring of oxygen that is going to utilize for the cell is said to be the second stagnant region. And here from the fourth step it is getting transferred through the region of your stagnant region, that is the fifth step, and from the fifth step it is getting transferred to the sixth. That is, here is the main thing, the liquid, from the liquid region to the interface, the gas in the form of air bubble is being transferred to your cellular phase, here where the reaction is going to be carried out for your bioprocess unit to form a particular product. So here the sixth phase is said to be the transfer of a gas bubble from the interior region of your stagnant region to the inside the cellular phase. So that is your sixth point. And then seventh step is said to be your this oxygen, once it has been transferred, is entirely going to utilized by the cell, and that is getting transferred to the next, how it is getting reached to the cell, that we call it as the eighth part of your cell. And from eighth part of your steps, it is getting transferred into the interior of your cell, that is the ninth step. So here, what about the ninth step? Here in the ninth step, where once it has reached the cell through the cell membrane, it gets entered into the interior part of the cell, where your biochemical reactions will be carried out for an entire process to get your desired product, right? So the first to your 9 number of your steps we do have here in this case of diffusion, how the diffusion of your oxygen is being carried out. So here in this gas phase we are going to making this as a, or denoting this gas in the form of a gas bubble as a oxygen transfer rate, and how this oxygen transfer rate is getting transferred through the bulk region. We don't have any mechanism here, and then the mechanism which plays a major role can be explained in a term called oxygen utilization rate, that is said to be your OUR, that is the oxygen utilization. Because why the oxygen is getting transferred from a gas to the liquid is getting into the cell for their utilization, so that your process will be carried out to form a particular desired product. So these are the various steps that are involved in oxygen transfer from a gas bubble to the reaction site inside the cell. So the first step, we have seen n 9 number of steps, right? So this is the first step, the diffusion of oxygen from the bulk gas to the gas liquid interface, that is said to be the first stagnant region. The next one, transport across the gas liquid interface, that is getting transferred, right? So from the gas liquid interface it is getting transferred into the bulk liquid, that is the third step. So from there, the transport of an oxygen from the bulk liquid to the unmixed liquid region of your cell, that is which denotes that it is getting into the interior part of your cell, so the reactions to be carried out. So that as being, before getting into that will be passed through your, the diffusion process is passed through your stagnant region surrounding the cells, and from there to the stagnant region it is getting transferred into the cell pellet. So from there the oxygen is taken into the inside of your cell, that by transporting across the cell membrane or cell envelope or your plasma membrane, anything, that finally the 9th step it reaches to the intracellular reaction site, so that the reactions will be carried out for the entire process, so that we will be yielding the good desired product. So here the rate of oxygen transfer, that is the OTR, in the form of a gas bubble to the liquid phase can be explained in this form, that is your dCl per dt. So always the rate which is said to be the anything that has been changed according to your time or at the particular time. So dCl by dt is equal to KL into A into of your concentration gradient. Since we have seen the diffusion is said to be directly, the molar flux is directly proportional to the concentration gradient in the flux law of a diffusion, right? That is how here it has been said that dCl per dt is directly proportional to your concentration gradient, which can be represented as dCl by dt equal to KLA into C star minus of your CL. So here this C star, which means that the concentration of your liquid at a equilibrium condition, or we can tell the C star which will be concentration of a liquid at the stagnant phase or at the interface. So here Cl represents the concentration of an oxygen in the broth and T represents the time. So anything that has been changed according to a time, we call it as a rate. So that by dCl by dt is said to be the oxygen transfer rate over a period of a time. And KL is said to be your mass transfer coefficient, that is the one of the main important bioprocess engineering factor that plays a major role. And A is said to be the surface area of a bubble, okay, per unit liquid volume. And C star is said to be the saturated dissolved oxygen concentration, which means that it is said to be at a concentration of a gas in the form of a air bubble, that is at an equilibrium condition or at a stagnant region. And this KL is represented as the sum of the reciprocal of the resistance to the transfer of a oxygen from the gas to the liquid, and C star minus of a Cl is considered as a driving force for this mass transfer coefficient to be determined or to be carried out. So here we are going to see the next one, how this transfer rate and oxygen utilization rate is impacting on your growth rate of your growth rate of your microorganisms. So here in this case of an oxygen transfer rate, that is the OTR, and OUR is the total oxygen utilization rate, that is being correlated with your oxygen mass transfer coefficient, that is the KLa. So this can be defined as a theoretical maximum cell density that can be achieved in a cell culture. Okay, so as we all been aware that in the growth of any microorganisms, when we take growth phase, there are 4 growth phases. The first one is your lag phase, then is your log phase, the third one is the stationary phase, and the fourth one is your decline phase. So here in this case of a lag phase, when we talk about, whenever we are going to give your whatever the things, that is in the form of your carbon or a hydrogen or a nitrogen, the microorganisms will not utilize at the initial stage in the lag phase itself. So what it takes, the microorganisms will start to adapt to the new environment so that it gets adjusted till it reaches your lag phase. That is why it needs a low oxygen in the case of your lag phase. Right? So here once the organisms has reached your lag phase, at the end of your lag phase, it is said to be entering into the next phase called your log phase. In this case of a log phase, when we talk about, there will be a starting. So here, which means that as in a microbiology we would have been studied that the microorganisms will be requiring, or once it has been taken up all the raw materials, oxygen, carbon, whatever the source we have been given, it will start to adapt in the case of a lag phase. Once it has entirely adapted to the lag phase, after their utilization, it gets entered into the next phase called your log phase. So in the case of a log phase, what happens, it will start to utilize, it has been utilized entirely and the microorganism has been adapted to this environment. It will require an increasing in an oxygen demand so that it starts to produce an n number of a cell. Produce to the n number of your cell, or produce to the n number of your cell, or your cell mass density which will be produced. Cell mass density which will be produced. And once in this, once the log phase has been done, it will be transferred to the next phase called your stationary phase. And once in this case of the stationary phase, when we talk about the oxygen, whatever we have been given, it will be coming in an equilibrium condition or in a saturated condition, so that the oxygen has been entirely utilized to produce a product. So here in the lag phase, it starts to utilize your oxygen demand, and once it has been, it starts to utilize, when it enters into the log phase, the oxygen demand has been increased, and once it has been entered into the stationary phase, the oxygen solubility will become a limiting factor, which means that it becomes a decreasing for the cell growth. So we all know that in the stationary phase, there will be always a product formation, right? So here in this, once it has been reached, the cell or any factors that has been reached to the stationary phase, it will start to produce a product. And once a product has been formed, it enters into the next phase called the decline phase. So in the decline phase, there will be a death phase of your cells, which will be containing your product as well as the byproduct, and also due to the waste that has been accumulated in the case of your death phase or a decline phase. So here it doesn't need any oxygen solubility level or any oxygen demand or any nutrients. It does not be needed in the case of your decline phase. So we will be getting the products that has been produced in the case of a stationary phase. We are going to derive through your decline or a death phase for your next step processing called the downstream processing. So here in this case, we are going to derive your or recover the solids in the form of your products, as well as it contains your undesired products like the byproducts or waste products. So the next one we will see about what are the various factors which affects your oxygen transfer. So here when we are talking about here the temperature, which plays a major role. If your temperature increases, the oxygen level also decreases. So we have to maintain at a particular temperature for your any oxygen transferring rate has to be achieved for any reactions to be carried out. The next one is the solubility of an oxygen. So here it represents the solubility of an oxygen in the case the solubility of the oxygen, that is how much amount of the oxygen in the form of a gas bubbles we are going to sparge through the sparger. So here the next factors we can also call this, it can be affected by your sparger size. So the sparger size, how it has to be? It has to be a highly porous, it has to produce an equal size of bubbles, so that the reaction has to be carried out uniformly for your entire process to be form a particular product. The next is your pressure. So when we talk about your pressure, the pressure also plays a major role. So here, if any process of a bioprocess, if you take it as an optimum temperature and a pressure for your any reactions to be carried out. And the next factor we call, which we know it as the other influence of a factors or a cell species. So what kind of a cell species we are using, how the culture growth phase, in the case of your lag, log, everything. So we are using not only the bacteria for any product, we are using n number of microorganisms including the fungi. So here in this case, how this growth phase is being impact on your oxygen transfer rate also defines. So the next one, so before why we have been seeing this so far, we are going to getting into the topic that is called your mass transfer coefficient, how it can be determined. So this mass transfer coefficient will be occurred when your diffusion process is there. When the diffusion process is there, the diffusion process will be occurring if a mixture contains a n number of a solute, which will be having your concentration differences. So we can define in a simple term the KLa is the gas transfer coefficient, which is defined as a measure of a bioreactor to transfer the oxygen from the gas phase into the culture that is said to be the cellular phase. And this mass transfer coefficient plays a major important role because it is important in all your bioprocess and mass transfer operating systems. So here we will see the mass transfer coefficient that can be denoted as well as KLa, right? So here in this case, we are going to see only the two phases here by taking some assumptions for deriving your mass transfer coefficient equation. So here the first phase is said to be the gas and the second phase is said to be your liquid phase. We are not dealing about the next phase called your cellular phase. So here in this case of a gas phase, when we talk about the law of your Fick's law of a diffusion, that is your molar flux that is directly proportional to your concentration difference we have seen, right? So the same law we are going to apply here for a gas phase as well as your liquid phase. So first we will see the first phase called your gas phase. The mass flux, that is your rate of a mass transfer Qg per unit area, which is defined as a Qg. Here why we have a Ng alone rather than the Ja, here we are going to define the concentration of your oxygen. So that's why we are having a term called as Ng, that is said to be your mass flux. Okay, so the mass flux, which is said to be the definition of your mass transfer, that is a Qg, that is your in the gas phase and a particular area, how it is directly proportional to the concentration differences. That's why we have a term. So for removing your proportionality things, we are introducing a term, constant term called a proportionality constant as a Kg. Since this reaction of your rate flux, mass flux rate is being occurred in a gas phase, we are taking consideration as a Ng is equal to Kg into Cg minus of Cgi. And this Cgi we can write, this is said to be the interface of your gas liquid system. That's why we have a term called as Cgi, and this Cgi can be denoted as well as a Cg star also, that is at the equilibrium condition. Okay, so here where your Na is said to be the mass flux, in which your Qg represents your mass transfer rate per unit area, A represents your area, which is directly proportional to the concentration gradient of Cg minus of Cgi. The Cg is the gas side concentration at the bulk side of from your aerator, which is being transferred to your interface, that is denoted as a Cgi, which is directly in which your Kg is said to be the individual mass transfer coefficient for the gas phase. Similarly, we are going to see for the liquid phase how the mass flux rate is being carried out. So here in this case of a liquid side mass flux, the same rule of a diffusion, the NL is defined as the mass flux transfer rate, that is the QL per A. The same as for your gas phase, we are going to make here instead of a G, since the process is occurring in the case of a liquid phase, it is getting transferred into the liquid phase. We are going to denote, instead of G, we are going to denote as a NL is equal to QL by A is equal to KL into CL minus of your CL. So here the I, which is said to be the starting point in the case of a liquid phase, which is getting transferred final to the CL. So this is the second equation. So the next one, the same as for a gas phase, the NL represents your mass flux of your liquid phase, QG represents the mass transfer rate in a liquid phase, but unit area how it is being carried out is directly proportional to the concentration gradient. To remove the proportionality constant, we are going to introduce a proportionality constant as your KL, and this KL represents integral mass transfer coefficient for your any liquid phase. Okay, so here when this Mg and NL will be equivalent, right? So here in this case at an equilibrium condition or in this stagnant region, or when the solution is getting an equilibrated condition, your Mg will be equivalent to your NL. So that is the third equation. So here when we are substituting this first and the second equation, we will be finally getting the equation as a form of your Cg minus of Cgi by Cli minus of Cl is equal to minus Kl by Kg, which can be derived from your this one. Since at an equilibrium condition the Mg is equivalent to your NL, therefore substituting the equation 1 and 2, we will be having this Kg into Cg minus of Cg star, which is equivalent to Kl into Cl star minus of a Cl. So by replacing this term, here we are having a KL by Kg is equal to Cg minus of Cg star divided by Cl star minus of Cl. So there is nothing a difference. So Cgi can also be denoted as a Cg star and Cli can be also denoted as a Cl star, because we are assuming this reaction is diffusion reaction is occurring at a equilibrium condition. So what are the various factors which influences the KLa value? So here what are the factors, physical factors, what are the other factors that has been influencing the oxygen transfer rate? Those factors also plays a major role in the KLa values. So then the same thing, the bubble size. So here the bubble from where it is coming, it's from the aerator, right? So from the aerator it has to be sponged the gas in the form of a bubble that has to be in an equal inner size. It should not be in a bigger inner size, one should not be in a smaller inner size. It should be a even size of a bubble should be there, and the aerator should be of a highly porous, and it should has to uniform sparging of air has to be there. And when we are mixing, the mixing of a gas bubble should not get collide and it should not form a bigger bubbles, because it has been interrupted, so the oxygen will not be transferred in a high efficient way for the reactions to be carried out. The third one is the air flow rate. So what is the air in the form of a gas bubble, what we are going to give to the sparger, that flow rate also plays a major role. And the next one, the properties of the media. So here in the case of the properties of the media should be in a sterile condition. It has to utilize all the microorganism has to utilize all your requirements that has been provided in the form of raw materials along with your oxygen that has to be done. And the next one is the measurement method. So the measurement method, we have n number of methods to determine your KLa coefficient. Okay, the temperature in the case of for any bioprocess reaction, the temperature is said to be in an optimum conditions for any process to be carried out. So the temperature also, so the temperature should not go beyond optimum region, or it should not go below the optimum region. Okay, so the sparger characteristics, the same thing. The sparger which has to be a highly porous and it has to sparge a uniform size of a gas bubble should be there. So here when we talk about your measurement of your KLa, there are n number of your rate has been dependent on this measurement of a KLa, has have a n number of methods. Let us take a dynamic gassing method that will be explained in a later. So dynamic gassing technique method, salting out method, aeration rate, agitation rate, and it also plays an important role in the case of an impeller diesel. And also it will be having your anti-foam agent also plays an important factor of determining your KLA values. Okay, so these are the determination of a KLA method. That is, the first is a sulfide oxidation technique, the next is the gassing out technique, and the final one is the oxygen balancing technique that will be seen in the later.